Your dog suddenly freezes, stares at an empty corner of the room, growls at absolutely nothing. You look, you see nothing. But what if your dog sees everything? Science has just confirmed that dogs are literally living in a completely different reality than we are, one that we can't see, can't hear, and can't even imagine. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on 7 strange things your dog can see and hear that are completely invisible to you. And by the time we hit number 5, you will never look at your dog the same way again. This isn't folklore. This isn't superstition. Every single thing on this list is backed by animal science and veterinary research, and some of it was only confirmed in the last few years. Here is the one that kept me up at night while putting this together. One of these things suggests your dog might be able to detect something happening inside your body before you even know it. Stay until the end. Number 7 will genuinely change how you think about the animal sitting next to you right now. Let's get into it. Thing number 1, ultraviolet light. Let's start with something that will immediately reframe every edamance. Single walk you have ever taken with your dog. You already know that dogs see the world differently in terms of color, fewer color receptors, less saturation. Most people have heard that. But here is what most people have not heard, and science now confirms it. Your dog can see ultraviolet light, and you cannot. Not even close. Here is why. The human eye has a lens that actively blocks UV wavelengths before they reach the retina. It is essentially a built-in UV filter. Dogs do not have this filter. Their lens allows UV light to pass straight through, meaning they perceive an entire visual spectrum that is completely locked off to human beings. What does that actually mean in the real world? White fur, like the fluffy chest of a Samoyed or a Bichon, glows under UV light. Certain flowers have UV markings completely invisible to us that insects and animals use as navigation guides. And urine? Urine fluoresces brilliantly under ultraviolet light. That means when your dog is on a walk, nose working overtime, zigzagging across every patch of grass, they are not just smelling a scent trail. They are reading a glowing, luminous map of every animal that passed through that space. Every marking, every territorial boundary, every message left behind. All of it lit up in a neon language you will never have the equipment to read. Your dog is not sniffing randomly. He is reading a glowing newspaper. You just cannot see a single word of it. Thing number 2, the magnetic field of the Earth. This one sounds like science fiction. It is not. Science now confirms that dogs can sense the magnetic field of the Earth, a genuine, physical, biological sixth sense that most humans have never considered possible in a domestic animal. Here is the study that changed everything. Researchers analyzed the bathroom behavior of 70 dogs across 37 different breeds over 2 years, tracking the direction their bodies were aligned when they urinated or defecated. The finding was extraordinary. Under calm magnetic field conditions, dogs showed a strong, statistically significant preference for aligning their bodies along the north-south axis. They were not doing it randomly. They were orienting themselves relative to the planet. The biological mechanism behind this? Magnetite crystals. These are microscopic mineral deposits that have been identified in the brains of dogs, the same crystals found in migratory birds, dolphins, and other animals known to navigate by magnetic field. These crystals physically respond to magnetic forces, giving the brain real-time directional information like a built-in biological compass. Think about what that means for your dog's experience of the world. Every time they step outside, they are not just seeing the street and smelling the air. They are feeling the pull of the planet beneath them. They have an internal orientation system running constantly that tells them exactly where they are relative to the Earth's poles. Your dog always knows which direction home is, not just because of scent, but because he literally feels the planet. And the next time he spins 3 times before lying down, researchers believe that behavior may also be magnetic field alignment. He is calibrating. Like a compass needle finding north. Thing number 3, ultrasonic frequencies. Right now, as you watch this video, your dog is hearing things in this room that you are completely unaware of, not metaphorically. Literally, human hearing operates between roughly 20 and 20,000 hertz. That is our range. And beyond 20,000 hertz, we hear nothing. Silence. The world simply goes quiet for us. Dogs hear up to 65,000 hertz. That gap is not a minor difference. That is an entirely separate acoustic universe. Inside that range lives a constant stream of sounds that fill your dog's world every single day. Sounds you will never hear. In rooms you think are perfectly quiet, the pipes inside your walls vibrate at frequencies above human range. Your refrigerator, your router, your laptop all emit ultrasonic hums that your dog registers clearly. Insects moving through soil, mice behind drywall, the subtle stress vibrations of a structure under pressure, all of it audible to your dog, all of it completely silent to you. And here is where it gets genuinely fascinating. Science now confirms that one of the reasons dogs behave strangely before earthquakes, barking, pacing, refusing to settle hours before any human detects anything, is that they are hearing it. Deep underground, as geological plates shift and build pressure before a seismic event, they emit infrasonic and ultrasonic frequencies that travel through the earth long before the event itself. Your dog is not sensing a ghost. He is detecting a geological event with hearing equipment that makes our most sensitive instruments look primitive. Your dog is sitting in your quiet living room experiencing a completely different acoustic reality. A soundtrack you will never have access to, and most of it you would not even want to hear. Thing number 4. Flickering in artificial light. Have you ever noticed your dog completely ignoring the television? Walked past a screen they should find interesting and gotten zero reaction? There is a precise scientific reason for that, and it is not what most owners assume. It comes down to something called the flicker fusion rate, the speed at which a series of images blends into smooth, continuous motion in the brain. For humans, this rate sits at around 60 frames per second. Above that threshold, our brain stitches individual frames into fluid video. Below it, we start to see flicker. Dogs process visual information at 70 to 80 frames per second, which means that, to your dog, most standard screens, televisions, monitors, phones do not display smooth video. They display a rapid, stuttering strobe. Individual frames that flash on and off faster than your eye can track, but not faster than theirs. Old cathode ray tube televisions, the thick, heavy sets from decades past refreshed at 50 to 60 hertz. To a dog, that was essentially a strobe light, completely unwatchable. Modern high refresh screens at 120 hertz and above are significantly better. But standard 60 Hz screens still sit right at the edge of your dog's flicker threshold. This is also why fluorescent lights, which cycle on and off with the electrical current, typically 50 to 60 times per second, may appear to flicker visibly to your dog in a way you never notice. A room that feels evenly lit to you may feel like a disco to them. When your dog ignores your television, he is not bored. The screen looks broken to him. And the fact that some dogs have learned to engage with high refresh screens anyway, that is adaptation. That is a dog choosing to work around a limitation in your technology just to spend time near you. Thing number 5, human emotions through smell. This is the one from the intro. And I want you to sit with this one for a moment because the implications are extraordinary. Science now confirms that your dog can smell your emotions, not interpret your body language. Not read your facial expression. Smell the biochemical signature of what you are feeling in real time before your face even has a chance to react. Here is the mechanism. When you experience fear, stress, excitement, or happiness, your body undergoes immediate hormonal and biochemical changes. Cortisol and adrenaline flood your system. Your sweat composition shifts. Volatile organic compounds are released through your skin and breath that are chemically distinct for each emotional state. These changes are far too subtle for any human to detect through smell. But researchers at the University of Belfast designed a controlled study that proved definitively dogs can identify these chemical signatures with remarkable accuracy. They could distinguish fear from calm, stress from relaxation, and happiness from neutral states purely through scent samples. No visual cues, no behavioral signals, just chemistry. Think about what this means for your relationship with your dog. When you come home after a terrible day, before you say a word, before you sigh, before your shoulders drop, your dog already knows. He smelled it the moment you opened the door. He registered your cortisol levels, processed the shift in your chemistry, and made an assessment of your emotional state before you even took your shoes off. When you are anxious about something and trying to hide it, your dog is not fooled. He is not reading your poker face. He is reading your chemistry. And chemistry does not lie. You cannot deceive your dog. You never could. He has always known exactly how you feel, and he has always chosen to stay anyway. Thing 6. Distant sounds with pinpoint accuracy. We already talked about the range of frequencies dogs can hear. But the distance and precision of their hearing is a completely separate superpower, and it is just as staggering. Humans can reliably detect sounds from roughly a quarter mile away under good conditions. Dogs can hear sounds clearly from 4 times that distance over a mile in optimal conditions. But it is not just the distance that is remarkable. It is the precision. A dog's outer ear, that mobile, expressive structure that swivels and tilts independently on each side, is not just decorative. It is an active, sophisticated sound collection system. Dogs can rotate each ear independently up to 180 degrees, positioning them like 2 separate satellite dishes to triangulate the exact origin point of a sound. While your ears are fixed forward and rely almost entirely on your brain to interpret directional data, your dog is physically steering their hearing equipment toward a target and locking on. The result is that a dog can isolate a single sound inside a wall of competing noise and pinpoint its precise direction and distance with accuracy. That makes human hearing look like a blunt instrument. This is why your dog is already at the front door, already alert, already positioned, already reading the situation 3 full minutes before you hear the car in the driveway. He heard your engine turn onto the street. He recognized the specific acoustic signature of your car, at your speed, on your usual route, and he has been tracking your approach the entire time. He was not waiting for you. He was following you home from inside the house. Thing number 7. Death and disease inside the human body. We have saved the biggest one for last, and I need you to understand, this is not speculation. This is documented, peer-reviewed, clinically validated science, and it will fundamentally change how you understand the animal that chose to share your life. Dogs can detect cancer, diabetes crashes, epileptic seizures, and they can detect them before the person knows it is happening. Here is the science. When the human body undergoes disease, whether it is a tumor growing, blood sugar plummeting, or neurological activity building toward a seizure, it produces volatile organic compounds. Microscopic chemical signatures that enter the bloodstream, reach the lungs, and are exhaled in breath or released through skin and urine. These signatures are produced in quantities so vanishingly small that no instrument currently built by science can reliably detect them. Your dog's nose can. Controlled clinical studies have demonstrated that trained detection. Dogs can identify certain cancers including lung, breast, colorectal, and ovarian cancer from breath or urine samples with accuracy rates as high as 97%. 97%. From a smell. But here is what makes it even more profound. Some dogs have never been trained. They have no formal detection protocol. And yet owners have reported and researchers have subsequently documented cases where a dog began obsessively sniffing, nudging, or pawing at a specific area of their owner's body, persistently, for weeks. In several documented cases, when those owners sought medical evaluation, tumors were found in exactly the location the dog had been fixating on. These dogs were not trained. They were not following a protocol. They were simply doing what their biology equipped them to do and trying, in the only language available to them, to tell the person they loved that something was wrong. Your dog is not just your pet. He is a biological detection system more sophisticated than anything science has managed to build, and he chose to spend his entire life next to you. So the next time your dog freezes and stares at an empty corner of the room, don't roll your eyes and scroll your phone. He might be tracking a UV trail you cannot see. He might be hearing something vibrating inside the wall at a frequency completely outside your range. He might be detecting a shift in the air that his magnetic sense is processing into directional data. Or he might be picking up on something in you, a chemical signal your own body is sending that you are not even aware of yet. We have spent thousands of years assuming we understand these animals because they live in our homes and sleep in our beds. But the truth is, they have always been living in a richer, deeper, more layered version of reality than we have access to. And they chose to share it with us anyway. Don't dismiss what you cannot explain. Your dog has never dismissed you. Which one of these shocked you the most? The UV vision? The magnetic field? The emotional chemistry? Drop it in the comments right now. I genuinely read every single one and I want to know what hit hardest for you. And if this changed how you see your dog even a little, hit that like button. It takes 1 second and it genuinely helps more dog lovers find this video. Subscribe if you are not already, because the next video is one you do not want to miss. 8 things your dog does every single day that are secret messages meant only for you, and most owners completely misread every one of them. Take care of your dog. I will see you in the next one.